Hey, what's up? Welcome. You are listening to TC the G Radio Season 3, Episode 2. I am TC the G, broadcasting directly from Tijuana, Baja California. I am so excited for this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to have a great time. The title of today's episode, Baby Mama Drama Part 2. Yes, and I'm so excited again because I have a very special guest here with me today. My husband, Victor, EastLos Giant, aka EastLos Giant. So, yeah, EastLos, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, what up, guys? Once again, I'm right here back at it again with TC with a new episode. How are you guys? I hope you guys are doing fine. Me, myself, we're doing good. And like she said, we're going to be talking today in regards to the baby mama drama. And the first thing that we have to go over is we got a couple things and a couple topics. Maybe you guys could relate and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys are still tuning in. Push like on that like button. Share, subscribe for you guys that are new. And it'll be very interesting.
Yes, perfect. Thank you, EastLos. So let's start from the beginning. And just as a disclaimer, okay, again, I want, to disclaim that the focus is not so much on the people we're going to be talking about today, but more on the actions, We are using this one baby mama, the one that I was talking about last time, and we're going to mention some of the other ones, but we're using them as a point of reference in order to make this podcast, okay? They're like, I guess, like a test subject, you can say, because, toxic people can be found in many people's lives. We just want to shed light on how it is that we have handled the situation and the people, the, baby mamas. So let's start with, there's one person that I was talking about last time. She's like the fourth baby mama, right? So you were with this person, you were trying to have a relationship with her, or what was it that was going on there? Because I know you said you were trying to kind of get to know her, right? Or and also what made the relationship go sour?
All right. Well, we started it off fine in regards to it, getting to know each other. Not completely all the way, but enough to say, you know what, we could start dating and stuff like that. And we were having, which is, how they say that you go out, kick it, spend time, go to the movies or go out to eat in the places like that just to get to know someone. Regards to that, you don't really know enough of a person to really just go based on dating, and the things that went sour is just like when you don't really know somebody. And my mistake was because letting the person move in, and so I felt like at that point she needed help. And so I decided, hey, I'm gonna reach out and let her know, you know what, you can move in just for a little bit, and then you could get your own place again, because that's originally what was the plan. And so as she moved in, that's when you start noticing the person and how they really act, because they could only act for so much. Because by dating, you could be around them and be nice for a couple hours, but after the day goes by and everything, and you have to wake up the next morning with them and fall asleep with them, that's when you start realizing that person is not really who they say they are. It just became sour because she was doing things that I felt were not right, and those little things become an issue because later on, those were red flags, like her saying, oh, I can't get pregnant, and she ended up getting pregnant. She told me to use unprotected sex because of the same situation, and so those little things like that. And then she got crazy with me, hit me, so it just became of a real issue there. And I felt like, damn, what can I do now if she's already pregnant? But those little things were already red flags. I should have seen them and move forward instead of staying there. It became that she had a kid with me, and that's why I decided to stay, because I have to do my responsibilities and be there when they're most needed.
Definitely, definitely. So that is what you have mentioned to me before, that that's how you got into the situation with her, that kind of like things happen really fast, right? Like how much time were you together with her?
It was about it looked like we're looking at a year and a half, almost two, because um, it became like within 6 months she moved in, or even four, and the rest of the time we lived together, and that's the time frame that we've been with each other. So it's like practically we were together more having a baby than actually a relationship. So it was like kind of quick to move into someone's home like that.
Yeah, and I think that's like a big mistake that a lot of young people make, right? Not saying that you're that young, but I think those are the mistakes that we make as we're growing as people. We learn not to do those things, right? Like move too fast before we even get to know the person, or make those kind of decisions. Those are like life-changing decisions, to live with somebody, even though, like you said, you've told me before, and I agree with that sometimes the only way you can really get to know somebody is by moving in with them, right? Because then you get to know, like you said, you get to know the real them on a daily basis, because it is really easy, like you said, to just be nice, go out to dinner 2 hours, and just play the part for those 2 hours, It's very easy to do that. So I completely understand, but it does seem like when you told me the story, to me it was like, wow. So like you said, I made the math as well. So it's like you guys were more together because of the pregnancy. Like the time you guys were together, it was the majority of it was the pregnancy. I do want to talk about how now that we're married, she keeps like a lot of the times this person, she kind of like try to say that I was like a metiche, or like trying to get like in you guys' like co-parent relationship. So at this point, what do you think about that? What do you think about her saying that it's really none of my business, your relationship with her, regarding your child?
Well, at this point, things have turned, and that doesn't necessarily apply anymore with you, because you are my wife now. And so if she tries to act up and do this and do that, which she has, right? That no, you moved on. You can't. My daughter cannot be around her, or cannot be around your new family, and this and that. Well, guess what? You may think that, hey, you know what? You're still the one, but if you really think about it, now she has to grow up, because she thinks as a juvenile, by thinking like that, you can't take them around your new family, and you could only spend time with my daughter. But what she was really doing is just like too much. And now that you're my wife, hey, you're gonna have to either accept it or live in a lie, in a fantasy world. And we're just gonna continue being us. She's gonna continue to be my wife, and my daughter's gonna be my daughter still. She's just gonna have to accept it. There's no she's being a chismosa. No, none of that shit. Now she's just being disrespectful and acting like a little child.
Yeah, because I never reached out to her before we got married, right? Like I barely started reaching out to her. Not reaching out to her like I guess confronting her about the situations and how she's been talking about you, about me, about your family, like constantly on social media, right? So she's like putting out this image of us, of your family, like giving us this bad name and like reputation, which, we know who we are, and it doesn't really matter what people think. But the fact that she's out there just trying to like drag our name through the mud, it kind of it bugs me. It bugs me because it's definitely not true, So how do you feel about me reaching out to her and like confronting her about all the mess that she has talked?
Well, I shouldn't feel no kind of way. And for anything, we've been quiet for so long. We let her be, because we don't give a fuck about whatever she got to say. As long as it's not us and her conversations and shit, we don't have nothing to say. And the truth is that at the end of the day, we've been far apart already, going on almost 5 years. She's already been like, like over. Like, she's old news, and she still tries to act relevant at this point in time, which doesn't make no sense anymore. Because she should already moved on. She should have already had a new guy, husband. But I feel like you telling her that it was about time, because I've been wanting to say something, but I just don't want. I don't need for any of that drama and shit, especially in social media, because I don't even put nothing out there like that. And for her to do that and talk about it, it's just like stupid. Just like her trying to look better, and which is a lie. All the shit that she says is all lies. And that's good. I feel good that you back us up.
Going back a little bit, I do want to bring up how you were saying that about your daughter, that she doesn't want your daughter around me, around our family. And I saw like a post not too long ago when I was putting like my points together for these episodes, that she was like, my daughter is too little to be visiting her dad's house. And your daughter is like already gonna be like 5 years old, right? So she's kind of like saying like she's too little to visit her dad, and she's not a baby, she's not a baby. And the thing that I think is funny is like she's willing to take her to school and drop her off with strangers for like hours, right? But she doesn't let her come to her dad's house. So her whole point of her daughter being too little to visit anybody is just seems like it's like bullshit, It's like, come on, like how can you drop her off with strangers at school? I know they're teachers and maybe they're certified or whatever, but you don't let her come to her dad's home. She has like posts, like she posts things as if she really cares about her daughter and the relationship you have with your daughter, or the relationship your daughter has with you. Yet she's not willing to let her come and see you, And I don't think she understands really that. Like, she keeps saying that you need to go over there with her, and it just seems like excuses to have you around, And it doesn't go at this point, because again, we're married. So if your little girl if she wants her little girl to have a relationship with you, then she should really put all her ego aside and let her come around the family, even if you have a new wife, if she really cares about the relationship, like she says she does, because that's what she claims, but yet she doesn't let her come around you. That's kind of funny, or what do you think about that?
The truth is just she's still trying to remain part of the family. She tries to act like we're still a family, but it's none of that. Everything is long gone. I moved on, and how I feel, I don't give a fuck, because that's her fucking business. She has to live with the fantasy world. I don't. I live here with my wife and my family and my daughter, and that's it. I shouldn't be caring so much about that, She should just face reality and the facts.
So there's a few things that she did that were like kind of like out there and crazy, right? And like, now moving on, right? A lot of the times she would be like, oh, making fun, or try to like indirectly joke about us, saying that, about our music, just things like that. And I know there might be some people out there that might be like, oh, well, what's her side of the story? There's like, what is the reason that she has really that? Well, what have we done to her for her to talk about us like that? Or, to act like that towards us, which is really nothing. I have never spoken about her at all until like recently, like when I decided to, confront her about it. I never said anything about her. Whenever you and I talk about her, I never disrespect her or call her out of her name or anything like that. Yeah, she's been online calling us names, disrespecting us, again, putting our name through the mud. And it just seems like she has this, like you said, like this fantasy world in her mind. Like, she doesn't want to face reality of what's really happening. And to me, like, I'm not a doctor or anything, but as a nurse, that seems like there's some kind of like mental issues going on, to be in that loop after 5 years. It's like a loop, like a trance, she can't get out of it. Like, how that just seems like there's something else going on there, like some kind of mental dysfunction, not just like immaturity, which a lot of immaturity, when you look at it like science-wise, a lot of immaturity is your brain still not developed correctly. It's like being young still. So it's like a lot of science kind of like that go together, that correlate. And another thing that she would do as well is whenever you were trying to call her or be in a conversation with your daughter, like video calling or whatever, how she would want to be all up in the mix. Remember that? Instead of you know, having that time with your daughter, she would just be all up in the mix and blah, 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 right? A lot of things that she would do. But at the end of the day, like you said, she needs to take responsibility for the life that, you know, she has built, really, by lying about not being able to get pregnant and things like that, you know? Oh, yes. And you also mentioned to me one time that she mentioned to you that you should forget about your other kid, Benji. What happened there?
Well, the whole thing is that I was barely in process of having Benji like back in my life because he was out, and that's the reason why I wasn't trying to get her pregnant or trying to have another kid, because my whole thing was to try to recover the lost time that me and Benji didn't have. So I was barely making like the bridge for the mom to bring him and to start leaving him here, and she didn't have no problem to drop him off with the new, you know, girlfriend that I had and everything. But then there was points where she didn't show up. The mom, she didn't want to, like, you know, she told me, hey, you need to have money, gas, and this and that. So sometimes I would have it, sometimes I wouldn't, and so it just caused problems. And sometimes she wouldn't even answer. So like it just became a domino effect where like I couldn't see my son, and she wanted to get involved. She was like, oh no, you should just, you know, forget about him. You know, that's how they act, the baby mama, because she's white and this and that and and it just became an issue till she told me, oh, you know what, you should just forget about him because you're having a new baby coming on the way. You can't forget just like that, or like a baby that you had. I don't know why or what she thought she could just say that. Like, that blew me away. Oh, and also the red flags is that when she was pregnant, I was mad because I was like, why did you told me that you couldn't have babies. You told me this, you told me that, and you couldn't get pregnant. And so I was stressed out because I was like, damn, I'm barely fixing the issue with my son, Benji, to have him here. And now she's pregnant, and just like, it was just becoming an issue. And I told her, like, that's crazy, you know, like, you told me this. And she was upset too that I was like spending more time at work and at the spot where I used to be right there, and getting money and shit and flipping my money. So it was an issue. So she one time got disrespectful. She slapped me a couple times, and so I got upset, and I couldn't even leave the house. So from there on, I started getting that trust issue where, like, damn, what did I get myself into? Now she hit me. Now she's over there lying to me that she couldn't get pregnant. I mean, what else? You know, it just time and time shows all those lies, you know, became afloat.
Yeah, that's like a very kind of like cold thing to say, right? Forget about your child, and it's pretty harsh to say that. And another thing that I want to bring up is how you know, of course, I already mentioned that she did a couple of things that were kind of like freaking unprofessional. No, I'm just kidding, just immature, right? Like whenever you would post the day que te reclamó that I was pregnant, and which is leading me to how you felt that you couldn't even post anything online, like on your profile or anything, like about your other kids or about us, because she would reach out to you and send you messages about these posts, you know, like what exactly, or, you know, just, you can give us like a little summary of what she would do.
She would send me messages like, oh, you rather post dad than your daughter. You don't give a fuck. You don't love your daughter, so I will put pictures of me, you, and Elijah, and she'll be like, so you rather spend time with them instead of with us, you know? I'm like, what the hell? Like, she was just claiming, even when my mom will put pictures of her coming to see me, she will fucking be all stupid and talking shit, telling my mom this and that about why. I'm like, she's like so like out of her mind that she lives so far. How is she gonna expect my mom to go all the way to another like state? Like, you have to be on the airplane. I mean, I don't know what she was thinking, but either way, she was still being negative and being like, why is she even stalking me? Why is she going through my shit? She should be on her own trip, worried about taking care of my daughter, worried about other things besides me.
Yeah, that was the trip. Remember that one time that one of her friends took a picture of us when we were walking down the street? Because I guess that guy saw us and then he sent her the picture or whatever. It's like, that's creepy. Like, why are your friends stalking or taking pictures of us? That's like creepy behavior, you know? Just like the same way how when we first started going out, remember she used to go on my profile and she was like stalking me online, like looking up all my like old photos that I used to have when I first got here to Tijuana, which was like my hippie era when I had like big ass bushy eyebrows. I wouldn't even shave that like my legs or anything. I wasn't like, I'm not like a hairy person, you know, but it was like my hippie era, you know, and like she kind of like wanted to make a point, like that's how I looked, you know, like kind of like saying this is what you have. Like, of course, I was, you know, I was younger. You grow up, things like that, you know. But the fact that she's going through my page and how she sent my mom a message to try to tell her that I'm with you and like you know, kind of saying like I took you away and like she was doing way too much, like way too much, and it's creepy behavior, really like creepy, like just like a creepy person, and that's not a good thing, you know, to be creepy like that. She needs to move on, like you're saying, definitely needs to move on. And your mom and your sisters, they helped her out so much, which is another thing that kind of got me upset, right? That they would help her, and yet she would go online and call them like narcissists because, again, like you said, they weren't like around your daughter, even though they're like your family lives in the States, so how can they be around her like that? And she was living in Sinaloa, so how can they be around her like that? Like, she was just like super jealous and just not all the way there, which is, you know, very yeah, just I'm just saying the same thing, but yes, like it was unbelievable just to be dealing with that and all that drama that. And I feel bad that I feel like she was controlling you indirectly in a way because you didn't want to cause her to send you messages by posting things. You know what I mean? It's like kind of like bullying you into not being able to express yourself on your page even how you would like, or your family, because even your mom said that she couldn't even do it either because she didn't want to get no messages. It's like kind of like reminds me like a terrorist, you know, just like terrorizing people, bullying them. And after everything that she does, like everything that she did, how she's saying that your daughter, you can go visit her daughter. She doesn't want to let her come over here. Like it doesn't make sense. Like she would think that we would want to have her around us in the same room, which is what I told her in one of the messages or one of the comments that I left on her page, telling her like we don't want to be around her. Her daughter, she can come and visit here at the house, but her, the baby mama, she doesn't need to be here. We don't want her here around us because of everything she has done. And I think it's kind of like, how can she really expect us to be all nice, cool with what she has done? Like I said on my last episode, either she thinks we're dumb or she's the dumb one to think that we're going to let her just talk shit and then be all cool. Like, dude, like, ¿qué persona piensa así, you know?
Yeah, you're totally right. It's just mind-blowing how people could just think that they have so much control over you and shit like that.
So let me ask you a question. What consejo would you give guys after this whole situation? What have you learned?
We go by the red flags. If you really want to get to know someone, you got to make sure you live with them together. And you'll find out who they really truly are. Make sure you pay attention to all those little things that I just said. Little things that would affect you in the future. And exactly their habits and how they act.
Yeah, it's very important, like we mentioned at the beginning of the episode, to get to know them before making any big moves. Okay, let me ask you another question. What do men think about girls who wear fajas and too much makeup? Because that's another thing that I mentioned on the last episode. I brought up that, you know, she was saying that I was ugly or whatever. And just like as a guy's perspective, just not talking about, you know, again, this is not just about her. It's about overall as a man, how men see these things like fajas, makeup. I know you were mentioning to me that sometimes when you see if a girl's wearing a faja and then she takes it off, it's like it was all lies, like like an illusion, right? Like they weren't being real about who they are.
Yeah, these are like costume clowns and shit. Especially with makeup and the fajas, because the makeup is just like cover up, and it's like some girls do it exaggerating. Like they do the makeup so much that the next morning when you wake up, they don't look exactly how the person from last night that with that makeup. So it's just like deceiving. And then the same thing with the faja. Like it's the same thing. You may look good and everything, but truly it's just false, you know? And I don't know how people could live like that.
Yeah, it's like women are like so worried about their looks nowadays, but they're not worried about being a good person, being a good woman, being a good wife, being a good mom overall. Like women were like meant to be moms, you know? And that's the other baby mama, your third baby mama, the white girl. I remember you had Benji here with us, your son, and we had to teach him how to potty train and how to like do little things that she wasn't taking the time to teach him, like throw the trash in the trash can, you know, sit at the table, use a spoon, you know, like he was like just you can tell que no le estaban poniendo atención to teach him those things, you know. And ya estaba grandecito. And this girl, the fourth baby mama, she also had the same issues, right? She was asking you to give her money because she couldn't potty train your daughter so she can go to that special school so she can get taught, and that she couldn't speak. And you told me that she was saying that she didn't have enough time because she had to go to work. Yet when Benji was here, we were both working, you and I, and we were able to potty train. It just seems like these women make a lot of excuses not to take responsibility for their role as a mother. You know, it's like they're not giving priority to being a mother. They're giving a priority to other things like being a woman, finding a man. And they're not even finding a man the right way because they're over there lying, you know, whatever, you know, or fajas or makeup. They're not really out there as real women, you know, with their heart, with a good heart and stuff like that. And I remember as well that she would send you messages complaining that your daughter, when she would get sick, or when she wouldn't behave, that she would call you as if you could do something over the phone, you know? I remember that I never reached out to my son's father when stuff like that happened. You know, it makes no sense because as a woman, you know that you have to handle it. So she was complaining about her not behaving. So that's in the last episode I was mentioning how instead of her talking shit about you and about us, that you don't help her take care of your daughter, like, you know, like child care kind of thing. If she can't handle it as a single parent, then she should just be straight up, you know, and tell you, hey, I can't take care of your daughter, of our daughter. Do you mind taking her? Maybe like share the custody, you know? It seems like instead of doing that, she just rather complain and throw a fit instead of just, you know, coming to terms that maybe what's really going on is that she can't handle having your daughter. Maybe she needs to give up the custody or something along those lines, you know? What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, if I'm paying and doing my part, yeah, why not? I would fight half of the custody. Because at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, the mom could only do so much. So it would be a better decision for me to be in her life like that. Realistically, she's so just greedy about keeping my daughter to herself.
Those are pretty much like all the questions that I had about this situation and all the comments that I had. I just wanted to get you on here just so they can hear kind of like your side or your side or your thoughts, you know, of what you're thinking, just to close the chapter of, you know, this whole situation. Like we said, it has been years since she's been doing this, and we never responded until recently, or I did, because I was really fed up. You know, I was tired of it, and she needed to understand that she can't just be coming over here or going online and just talking about whoever she wants lies. I know she kept saying like, well, it's her profile. Yeah, it's your profile, but you're talking about us, you know? So have your profile, but keep it about yourself, or, you know, why are you involving us in your profile? If you're talking about me, then I have the right to respond. So before we go, EastLos, do you have anything else you would like to say, or anything that I didn't say, or anything that I didn't touch on?
No, we didn't touch on that. You know, I know that my baby's mamas were always hitting me up in regards to disciplining my kids, but the truth and the harsh reality is that they don't actually do the physical work themselves. They don't be, putting my daughter or my son on check because of the situation that they don't want to do that. They expect the man to do that, and it doesn't work that way. It has to go on both sides, meaning that if I discipline my child here, when they get home with their mom, they have to be disciplined there too. So what's the point of me, disciplining my kids, but when they go back home, they don't have that? So then the child doesn't want to be in my house because I got rules they got to follow. And if they don't, they're going to get disciplined. And, it's just like facts. And they don't have time to even potty train them, take them off diapers because of the situation that they decide that they can't do it. But like TC said, we did it. We were working. I was working full time and still handling, the discipline and the diapers and stuff. It was hard. Trust me. I was at one point where exhausted, tired, emotionally drained. But it was worth it because at the end of the day, no one else is going to do it besides us, That's it.
Yeah, that's a good point, EastLos, because that's kind of like, it kind of goes together with what I was saying about being a good mother, You have to be a good parent. A lot of these women are now worried about being a good mother and what it actually means to be a good mother, which, no, you're not your kid's friend. You're the parent. You're disciplined. Kids need discipline because the world is not easy. The world is tough. And if you make them soft, they're going to melt out there. They're not going to make it. You're going to make niños que buenos para nada, gente buena para nada that can't do anything. Everything is going to break them. And that's the problem with the newer generation, But it's the responsibility of a parent to toughen up and do what you're supposed to do. It is a big responsibility. It does take a lot of sometimes it's painful, right? Because we have to do things that maybe hurt us, like discipline them, maybe spank them. And some people, oh no, don't hit them. But it's like sometimes when you talk to your kids so much, sometimes they don't even, they just feel like nothing else is going to happen. It's just, you just kind of like going around in loops. Like that happened to me with my son. The beginning of when I was raising him, I was trying to not hit him, not spank him, but he kind of like started taking advantage of that. Started taking advantage that I wouldn't do anything besides send him on timeout and just talk to him, until eventually I had to start spanking him, and damn, that humbled his ass down. He got humbled, because otherwise they just feel like they can step all over you because there's no consequences. And pain, I mean, even though it might sound harsh to say, but pain is a very good teacher. Pain, people learn from pain. We learn from pain. We're human beings. We learn from pain. Some people don't learn from pain. They're just kind of like, I guess they're a little off, or, a little, I don't know, not as smart, or they just don't care. But who willingly wants to go through pain over and over and over again? Nobody does. Not a sane person. But, thank you so much for tuning in to TC the G Radio. I hope you enjoyed this episode. What are your thoughts on today's episode? Let me know. Comment, like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay in the loop. Remember to tune in to TC the G Radio Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Also connect with me on social media to get more of me and my music. My social media and contact information are on the video's description. Again, thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in and for allowing me to share this time with you. Take care. Saludos.